Tomorrow night at the Shark Tank in San Jose, California, the superstars of Monday Night Raw will showcase their talents before for a worldwide pay-per-view audience and several million on the WWE Network and on traditional pay-per-view. Tomorrow night, superstars will look for payback from WrestleMania, among other things. Welcome to the Monday Night Raw exclusive pay-per-view / WWE Network special, the 5th annual WWE Payback. Hello, friends, and welcome to this special edition of Ridiculously Raw. I am the ridiculously over gentleman, Anthony Florio, here with you once again, joined by the Phenom, Michael Bullock. Of course, unfortunately, the other two members of our panel, good old MF Michael Fletcher, will not be joining us tonight, as is the First Lady of the Wrestling Forum, the Twisted Angel, Dee Dee Woodson. MF, I don't know what he's doing. He probably got plans. I know he always has Saturday night plans with friends and family or whatever. And I know Dee Dee Woodson's going through a family emergency of her own, and we wish her all the best with that. And hopefully we'll have her back here tomorrow night. If not, then we'll just take it from there. So tomorrow night, like I said, the superstars of Monday Night Raw will get a chance to showcase their talents. And we're not going to get into the pre-show match this time around. Last month was the only exception because it is WrestleMania after all. I think we'll only do that for the major pay-per-views, for your WrestleManias, your SummerSlams, your Survivor Series, and your Royal Rumbles. So we're not going to get into it on the B shows, especially this one. Even though it's a solid match, though, you got Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson squaring off against Enzo Amore and Big Cass, of course, the Wrestling Forum's favorite tag team. And I mean, that's a tough one to call, but we're not going to get into that. So we're just going to go in the order that I see it on my list here, and we're gonna start big here. We're gonna start with one of the big matches on this card. We got the Samoan Submission Machine and the Destroyer, Samoa Joe, going one-on-one with the Architect, or as I like to call him nowadays, the King Slayer, Seth Rollins. And oh my, just like the Joe Zayn match many people thought was going to steal the show at Fastlane, or like the Joe Nakamura and Balor NXT feuds that were going to be awesome, or really anything with post-TNA Samoa Joe, you pretty much know what you're going to get. Mean mugging, some weak-looking power moves, lots of rest holds, and losing. But you never know. Samoa Joe and Seth Rollins were probably supposed to have this match back at Fastlane, but were unable to because of the re-aggravated leg injury Samoa Joe caused to Rollins' leg. These two have been battling ever since, and their feud has become intensely personal. I believe that more than likely these two will continue to battle, and there's a good chance that this is the first of a series of matches. With that being the case, I can see Seth Rollins winning by disqualification or countout due to Samoa Joe's over-aggression. I mean, Joe was protected in NXT for 20 months, just as he has been protected on Raw for his first 3 months. So far, so good. Unfortunately, I believe we are getting to that point where he can eat a few losses and be okay. Sunday feels like one of those times. Seth Rollins is still not 100% there as a top good guy. Joe can help him get there. No controversy, no interference, even though there's a little part of me that thinks he could win by DQ or count out with some over-aggression. But I see Rollins winning after a hard-hitting bout, and I think this can definitely be one of the show stealers of the night. So with that being said, I'm going to take a chance here, and I'm going to go with Seth Rollins to win this match because I think that this is going to be the first of a series of bouts. And if that's the case, then I could see Rollins getting the first one, and then we'll take it from there. So give me Seth Rollins. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, whatever. So Michael Bullock, come on in. Samoa Joe, Seth Rollins, one of the top fights of the night for sure. Who do you like in what I think will be a great matchup?
Yeah, I think this will definitely be a great matchup, and definitely one of the top fights of the night for sure. This whole rivalry has been brewing since, of course, ever since Triple H, of course, cost Seth Rollins the Universal title, and just when it looked like Triple H was going to have a little something to start brawling with Seth Rollins, that's when Samoa Joe came out, and that's when he hurt his knee. So basically, I mean, you could see he's probably still not 100%, but he's probably better than what he was before. So I think this still could be a really good matchup. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the Kingslayer, Seth Rollins, to win this one. Uh, would I be surprised if Samoa Joe wins? No, I wouldn't be surprised. So, and to be quite honest, I think a loss by Seth Rollins wouldn't even hurt him anyway. So, yeah. So there's really nothing more to say. So give me the Kingslayer, Seth Rollins, to win this match. So Florio, let's move on to the next match, which I will lead off on.
And it's a match that, no doubt about it, we're all looking forward to, and a match that maybe possibly could end up being the main event of this show if you really think about it. But like I said, I'm going in the order of the preview that I have in front of me here. So yeah, I'm just checking to make sure I have it right. Okay. Wow. How about this? We just had Joe and Rollins lead off. Well, we're going to have some even more fun with this, because we got the returning Roman Reigns going up against the monster among men. Come on, Bo. You know what to do. Roar! Braun Strowman. Michael Bullock, I don't have anything else to say except this could be the main event. Maybe not. But Reigns and Strowman, oh boy, has it been a lot of fun. And I'll tell you what, I think this has the potential to be one of the best Be a Man fights we've ever seen.
Oh yeah, this definitely has the potential to be one of the best Be a Man fights we've seen in quite a while, and this rivalry has definitely been going on since the Royal Rumble when Braun Strowman cost Roman Reigns the Universal title, and of course they had their match at Fastlane where, of course, Roman Reigns got the best of Braun Strowman, and then of course Roman Reigns had, of course, his feud with, of course, the Undertaker, and it looks like this feud is definitely building back up, especially after what Braun Strowman did to Roman Reigns. I mean, he basically beat the snot out of him, and to the point where Roman Reigns was put in an ambulance, and then Braun Strowman tipped the ambulance truck over. I mean, holy crap, that was definitely an OMG moment there. So, I mean, Braun Strowman has been on a path of destruction. I mean, my goodness, look at what he did to the Big Show, especially with that collapsing, and then what he did to Kalisto. So, yeah. So, of course, Roman Reigns, like I said, is coming off of his win over the Undertaker at WrestleMania. So, plus, I mean, he's already beaten Braun Strowman. So, to me, I'm going to take a chance, and I'm going to go with the monster among men, Braun Strowman, to get the win here, just to give him that win back. And I think he's in for a major, major push. And somewhere down the line, he's going to get a shot at the WWE Universal title. So give me Braun Strowman to win this match. Florio, it is yours.
Yeah, the most entertaining part of Monday Night Raw the past few weeks has undoubtedly been the monster among men. Strowman has been beating the snot out of everyone and anyone, and the crowd has been loving it. No segment got more of a favorable reaction than Strowman flipping over an ambulance that had Roman Reigns inside at the Nassau Coliseum that night, and the crowd was chanting, "Thank you, Strowman," long after the beatdown subsided. I'm going to trust that WWE makes the right call here and doesn't sacrifice their star in the making to a man that has already been to the top of the mountain and has solidified his status by retiring The Undertaker at WrestleMania, which Roman Reigns, as we all know, did. And, well, there's nothing left for me to say except we got to figure that this could be the main event of the pay-per-view. It could be. WWE seems kind of hyped about Braun Strowman right now, and I guess they need someone for Brock Lesnar to defend the Universal title against at SummerSlam for about 5 minutes. But my question is, how long does it take for wrestling fans to turn on Braun? Right now, the prevailing myth is that he's worked hard to become this great big man character, even though I have no idea what this work supposedly includes. The dude is a big monster who probably spends most of his days eating and working out to maintain that size, and the rest of the time getting told how to no-sell everyone else's offense. I mean, wrestling fans don't really like big men. They've jumped on and off the Big Show's bandwagon more times than the Big Show has turned face and heel. So it's cool now to be in the Braun when he's having good matches with, surprise, surprise, Roman Reigns. But let's see all that love when he's stinking the place up with Bray Wyatt or Dean Ambrose. But nonetheless, though, I mean, I'm a little disappointed that this wasn't made an ambulance or stretcher match so we could see Braun heave Reigns off of more stuff. But I do wonder why they didn't add a stipulation along those lines so Roman Reigns wouldn't have to eat a precarious pinfall. If the rumor is true that Strowman is set as Brock's first Universal title challenger, then I suppose a straight-up brutally dominant win to send Reigns packing for the short term would be a good way to kick things off. Remember, Roman Reigns is coming off a family tragedy. He just lost his brother, for goodness sakes. His brother, Rosie, as you all know, Anoa'i, rather. Best known to WWE fans as Rosie. As part of 3 Minute Warning, Rosie and Jamal, of course, they both passed. Jamal, cousin Umaga, he passed away back in 2009, late 2009, right around December. And then Matt, Anoa'i, Rosie, he just died a couple weeks ago, and I know it's been a rough few weeks for Roman. So I think that's why they did that whole ambulance angle more than anything else, just to write him out of the show for the time being, so he get the time off to be with his family and all that. So. And I think that could definitely be the emotion of that could definitely get to him. So, but I'm sure it's going to be a great match anyway. But I'm going to take a chance here. I'm going to agree with you, Bullock. I'm going to go with Braun Strowman to win this match as well. So, all right. Next up, we have the Cruiserweight Championship on the line. The king of the Cruiserweights, Adrian Neville, the champion, defending against number one contender Austin Aries. A return match from WrestleMania. That awesome match at WrestleMania, which, as I keep saying, should have been on the main card and not on the pre-show. Excuse me, but it was a great way to set it up. But let me see here. I'm a big fan of the King of the Cruiserweights. Neville has finally developed some personality, and it's a thing to behold. Unfortunately for him, this is likely the point in the story where the King gets the throne. Aries needs to get it done right now, or he becomes just another guy in the division. Hopefully, Neville will continue to be productive as a challenger, and the Neville level can still be a thing. I love their match at WrestleMania, but the feud has kind of fallen a little bit flat since then, even with the addition of T.J. Perkins. On the one hand, I don't think Aries loses straight up again. So we're gonna have to wait and see. I mean, there could be some shenanigans, there could be some T.J. Perkins interference. Maybe Jack Gallagher could get involved as well. Or it could lead to something at the next Raw pay-per-view, which will be going down on June 4th, of course, which is Extreme Rules. Now, that would be hella fun. But for right now, I'm going to take a chance here, and I'm going to go with Austin Aries to get it done. I think Austin Aries can win the title here. I really do. But like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if we end up getting some kind of shenanigans, which could lead to another Neville defense. But if they want us to take Aries seriously as the next big thing in the Cruiserweight division, they have to strap him. And I think the sooner they do it, the better. Neville's had a great run. He's held it for 3 months since winning at the Royal Rumble from Rich Swann. And I know how much Fletcher has loved his work, and we've all loved his work. The only criticism Bullock and I have is, of course, his screaming during his promos. But other than that, Adrian Neville continues to be the breath of fresh air in that division, and he's the best thing going in it. Aries is right there, so I really want to see my guy Austin Aries do it again. I mean, longest running X Division champion in TNA history. Let's add another accolade to his already growing resume. I mean, we all know what he did in TNA, winning that X Division title, winning the World Heavyweight Championship from Mr. Glorious Bobby Roode in one of the greatest matches I've ever seen. And, of course, tag team champions with, surprise, surprise, Bobby Roode. So as part of that great tag team known as the Dirty Heels. But nonetheless, let's add another accolade to Mr. Aries, to A-Double's Hall of Fame caliber resume. So I'm going to take a chance here. I'm going with the greatest man who ever lived, A-Double, Austin Aries, the new WWE Cruiserweight Champion. And if I'm being honest, he should have won it at WrestleMania. That's just my opinion. So, Michael Bullock, come on in. Cruiserweight division has gotten so much better over the last few weeks, and here's two of the reasons why. Adrian Neville and Austin Aries. We all know how much Fletcher and MF love slash MF loves Adrian Neville. I love Austin Aries. Of course, you're a big Gallagher mark, and I can understand. So is my boy going to get it done tomorrow night, or is the king of the cruiserweights going to keep screaming and hold on to the title a little longer?
Well, I mean, the thing is, like you just said, Neville has has held the title since the Royal Rumble, and to me, I think it'll be the night when Neville drops the belt and Austin Aries finds it. But I also get this bad feeling that Neville's probably going to retain it because obviously with T.J. Perkins siding with his time finally get done and add to his legacy. So, winner and new cruiserweight champion Austin Aries. Florida, let's move on to the next match, which I will get into.
Alrighty. Next up here on our Payback preview show, another title match. And oh boy, we're going to have some fun with this. For the Raw Women's Championship, champion Bayley defending the title against number one contender and one of the newest additions to the Monday Night Raw Women's Division via the Superstar Shakeup, 5 Feet of Fury, Alexa Bliss. She became number one contender by winning an unbelievable fatal 4-way contenders match, which involved Nia Jax, Sasha Banks, and I forgot who the other girl was in that, but nonetheless, Michael Bullock,
Mickey James.
Mickey James. I'm sorry.
How could you forget?
I've had a crazy busy day here, covering the Stanley Cup playoffs and everything else. So, yeah, I still can't believe what happened with my team though. But we'll get into that another day. But for right now, it was Mickey James, Alexa Bliss, Nia Jax, and Sasha Banks. Fatal 4-way contender match. Alexa Bliss won that. Hometown, Ohio. Her first match on the Raw roster after she dominated SmackDown Live. So, and another caveat before I give it to you, Bullet, to lead off. We're in Bayley's hometown, San Jose. So it's going to be a major homecoming for Bayley. Not just Bayley, but what's Bayley going to have with her, Bullock? You know what she's going to have with her?
The wacky waving arm flailing inflatable too.
Yeah, buddy. I love that. And we got more fun to come, believe me. So, but for right now, Bullock, question is, does the hometown girl continue her run as the Raw Women's Champion? Or is Alexa Bliss going to prove that her dominance on SmackDown Live to the tune of 2 SmackDown Live Women's Championships was not a fluke?
Wow. I'll be quite honest for you. I'm having a tough time with this one because Arnie is telling me that I should go with Alexa Bliss to become the new Raw Women's Champion because, well, Bayley, she's held the title, I think, since the Royal Rumble. Or not the Royal Rumble. No, not the Royal Rumble. One of which edition of Monday Night Raw was it? I'm trying to remember.
It was back on February 13th in Las Vegas, the same night of the Festival of Friendship, which we'll get into later.
That's what it was. Yeah. So she's held the title since then. So part of me is telling me it's time for a change, but come on. I mean, to be quite honest, I mean, this is in Bayley's hometown, Chicago. And to me, I think having her drop the belt to Alexa Bliss in her hometown, I think would be an injustice. So to me, I mean, if this was in any other place, I would have gone and said Alexa Bliss would become the new Raw Women's Champion. But I think for this night, because it's in her hometown, I think you want to have the fans go home happy. So I originally was going to say Alexa Bliss was going to win it, but because this is in her hometown and I don't think they want to send the crowd home happy, and I'm going to say winner, and still Raw Women's Champion Bayley. I mean, would it surprise me that Alexa Bliss becomes the new Raw Women's Champion? No, it wouldn't. I wouldn't be surprised. So, but in the end, like I said, Bailey's going to win here. So, Florio, it is yours.
Yeah, right there with you, man. I agree. I got Bailey winning as well for a different reason. Not just because it's her hometown, but it's still on the table, right? A potential feud with Sasha Banks. And I think that's going to go down. I think they're going to save that for SummerSlam. That's just that's just been my assumption. I've been preaching about that on Ridiculously Raw for the last couple of weeks now, and I'm going to preach about it some more here. They're eventually going to turn Sasha heel. We just don't know when that's coming. It could happen right before our very eyes. You never know. I think the only way Alexa Bliss could win the title is if Sasha Banks gets involved and heel turns on Bailey and helps Alexa Bliss win the title. That could work, but I don't see that happening. But I do see Sasha turning heel at some point down the road, and it's going to set up Bailey and Sasha in Brooklyn at SummerSlam for the Raw Women's Championship, and I think that's when they give Sasha the win back. Because remember, 2 years ago, who will ever forget when Bailey and Sasha Banks had the greatest women's wrestling match I ever saw? It was what I called a female equivalent of Flair and Steamboat. I mean, that's how freaking awesome that thing was. NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, when Bailey won the NXT Women's Championship. The match was amazing. It was 5 stars, Shakespearean drama. And at its absolute finest, Derek Ferrera was there, along with that red hot, white hot IWC crowd. And boy, did they pop when Bailey won that title. I hate to admit this, as much as I love Bailey, her title reign has been, lackluster. But I'll say it like this. Alexa Bliss is by far the best personality in the women's division. Her mannerisms, her facial expressions, and her delivery is far better than those of her peers. Bailey's title reign thus far has been lackluster, and she really doesn't feel like a strong champion. A Sasha Banks heel turn seems to be imminent, but that must happen with Bailey as champion. Despite the fact that I think Bliss should be champion, and I think will be champion someday, I think that the WWE will continue with the Bailey experiment, and I honestly think they're going to have Bailey successfully defend, especially if they want to give us Bailey and Sasha one more time in Brooklyn. Only this time, not at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. No, it would be at the biggest party of the summer in SummerSlam. And when that goes down, I think that's when Sasha Banks will end the run of Bailey as the Raw Women's Champion, and they'll give Sasha the win back from 2 years ago. So I'm going to go with Bailey. I agree with you, Bullock. This has the potential to be a very good women's match, and they've had some wars and they've met in NXT before. So let's see what happens here. Okay, now next up, oh boy, we're gonna have some fun with this. The Raw Tag Team Championship on the line. The champions, Matt and Jeff Hardy, the Hardy Boys, or as I still affectionately call them, the Broken Hardys, Broken Matt Hardy and Brother Nero, going up against the challengers and former Raw Tag Team Champions in their own right, Sheamus and Cesaro. Sheamus and Cesaro winning a number 1 contenders match a couple weeks ago on Raw, knocking off Enzo and Cass in that match. Oh boy. Remember that time Matt and Jeff did that whole broken gimmick for a few weeks and it was the hottest act in wrestling? That's my favorite rewriting of history among online wrestling pundits and fans, since Anderson and Gallows were amazing in New Japan. I mean, can you imagine a world seriously where that could go down? But nonetheless, though, we all know what happened 4 weeks ago at WrestleMania. The Hardys, to the surprise of all of us, came back at WrestleMania and won that ladder match. It was originally supposed to be a triple threat with Sheamus and Cesaro, Gallows and Anderson, and Enzo and Cass. And then New Day, who were the hosts of the show, they came out and they announced that the Hardys were going to be the 4th team. Boy, oh boy, did they get a big pop out of that. And then they went on to win the titles. They've been champions since. This is their first official title defense. And I believe these two teams are set to begin an extended program that should span a few months. There's only 4 viable teams on Raw at the moment, so there really isn't any other choice but to have these two teams duke it out for a while. With that being said, I do believe that Sheamus and Cesaro could eventually unseat the Hardys, but it will not be a Payback. Instead, the kilt-clad duo will lose, become frustrated, and blast the Hardys post-match and perhaps even break them. maybe it could lead to a heel turn, for a double heel turn for Cesaro and Sheamus. And boy, will that be hella fun, because we've seen this whole sportsmanship thing. But Jeff Hardy won his singles match against Cesaro, and what a match it was. And then the following week, Matt Hardy won his singles match against Sheamus. Good, but not as great as the other one. But at every turn, it has been shown that the Hardys are better than their opponents. I mean, they are, but still very interesting hype for a tag team title bout. Either Sheamus and Cesaro are turning heel or something else is going on here. Not sure what, but WWE has my attention. Hardys will retain. The aftermath is going to be the real story, though. I mean, they're a fun nostalgia act. And, yeah, I mean, the fans have been so crazy. And if it weren't for all the talk about WWE supposedly having leased the Broken Universe concept, I would have chalked this. I mean, I still think the Hardys can get it done. And I still think there could be a heel turn for Sheamus and Cesaro. And I imagine it'll prove more fruitful right away, leading to the Hardys going from Team Extreme to being broken. And it will be extraordinarily delightful. Yes.
And you know what happens if they, no. When they win?
Let me set it up. Then, and don't worry, they're not making any list. You think we're gonna do our list?
Oh no, not that.
I'm just making sure, just in case the fans know. But Bullock, when they win tomorrow night, and we know they will, I'd be surprised if they lost. But they've only been champs for a month or so, and when they win, and when they successfully defend the titles, you know what's coming. Green beans.
Green beans.
Fun. Yeah.
Yes.
And we're gonna have a big old helping handful of the most delightful, delectable treat.
Fun.
Wonderful, delightful. They are a delicacy. Everybody knows. So the winners, and still your Raw Tag Team Champions, Matt and Jeff Hardy, or as I call them, Broken Matt Hardy and Brother Nero. And believe me, and if you didn't see Raw Monday night, we saw some of the broken Matt Hardy mannerisms, especially the delete. And I think they're going to delete Sheamus and Cesaro, at least tomorrow night. And when they do, it'll be green beans for everyone. Yes. Brother Bullock, what says you?
Oh, Brother Florio, I say the same thing too. I'm going with Jeff Hardy, the Hardy Boys, or as you like to call them, the Broken Hardys, Broken Matt Hardy, Brother Nero, to win and retain the Raw Tag Team Championship. I mean, you pretty much said everything. I mean, I don't think there's really nothing much more I could get into, and like you said, when they do win, it's gonna be green beans for everyone. Yes. Let's move on.
Yes, let's move on indeed, Brother Bullock. I mean,
and it will be delightful.
Delightful, wonderful, extraordinarily delightful. Oh, yes. Believe me, they're coming sooner than you think, folks. I mean, if those mannerisms the other night on Raw weren't any indication, they just have to fight the whole TNA Anthem lawsuit nonsense. And I know they do. They got plenty of money and resources to do it. And when they do, soon enough, we're going to get the Broken Hardys in the game. By golly, I cannot wait.
It'll be wonderful.
Oh, yes. And we're going to get them green beans ready. Oh, yes. But anywho, let's put the green beans aside for a minute and get into our next match. And what a match we got here. The United States Heavyweight Championship, another return match from WrestleMania. Champion Kevin Owens defending against the challenger and former champion Chris Jericho. As we all know, Kevin Owens won the United States Heavyweight Championship from Chris Jericho at WrestleMania. And the caveat is, now that the U.S. Title is now exclusive to SmackDown Live, as is Kevin Owens, if Chris Jericho wins this match and becomes champion again, he goes to SmackDown Live, which is a major loss for Raw, but a major gain for SmackDown Live. But so I ask you, does Jericho regain the title and go to SmackDown Live with it, or does the quote unquote new face of America successfully defend. I think we all know what's going to happen here because of a certain phenomenal one, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, this rivalry has been brewing since, of course, that Festival of Friendship when WrestleMania, win the US title, and of course, our makeup, he goes to SmackDown Live, and the match was obviously already made, like before the whole superstar shakeup. So now this match here, like you said, if Chris Jericho wins the United States Championship, because it is now the property of SmackDown Live, Chris Jericho would then go to SmackDown Live if he wins the title, and that would be a huge loss for Raw. But of course we know that's not going to happen, and because I got Kevin Owens winning and retaining the United States Championship, setting up a dream matchup for everybody in the IWC that is going to be quote unquote phenomenal. The phenomenal one, AJ Styles against the United States champion Kevin Owens, and of course we all know that's going to go down at the next SmackDown Live pay-per-view. Backlash, and to me, and I'm going to go on a limb and say this: I think that's going to be the night when AJ Styles wins his first United States Championship. I'm already going on the record with that. So, winner and still United States Champion Kevin Owens. So, Florio, it is yours.
The best thing that ever happened to this feud was putting these guys on different shows so that we didn't have to keep seeing the same old stuff every week. So kudos to WWE for at least recognizing that we can only take so many we used to be friends storylines with Kevin Owens and put him into a pure wrestling feud with AJ Styles over the US title. Well, then I guess boo the WWE for making a match here that's so inconsequential that the next contender for Kevin Owens is already set up. And we all know Jericho is touring with Fozzy in the spring. So yeah, the fact that AJ Styles and Kevin Owens have already begun their feud on SmackDown Live tells you everything you need to know about the result of this bout. Jericho is going to be touring in May with Fozzy, so expect a brutal beatdown and a post-match apron powerbomb. I still think it's going to be a solid match, though. So, but nonetheless, I agree with you, Bullock. I've got Kevin Owens successfully defending. It's pretty cut and dry for this one. Jericho's on his way out for a summer tour at Fozzy. Owens is already making new quote-unquote friends on SmackDown Live, so no big shock here. I imagine something particularly brutal on Owens' behalf to send Jericho packing. It's usually the way Y2J likes to go out. So I agree with that. I'm going with you, Bullock. I got Kevin Owens successfully defending the United States Heavyweight Championship. And now for what might be and what could be the main event of the evening here. It's the first ever in WWE House of Horrors match. WWE Champion Randy Orton squaring off against the Eater of Worlds, Bray Wyatt. And yeah, I am intrigued. I will be honest. But here's the thing. I like the Boiler Room brawls. I like the Hollywood Backlot brawl. I liked Halftime Heat. I like the Cena JBL no disqualification match, the Cena and Eddie Guerrero Iron Circle match, and Owen Hart's Dungeon match series. But I'll tell you what I don't like. Bray Wyatt and talking about the horrible promos or boring matches just as a gimmick is a massive letdown. Here's a guy who should have had his WrestleMania moment last month, and what happens? They feed him to Randy Orton. He needs to win this match, seriously. And if the title's not on the line, I don't see any reason why he can't win this match. We all know Randy Orton is going to be defending the WWE Championship at Backlash in Chicago next month against, of all people, Jinder Mahal, which I'm still scratching my head about. But let me just say it like this. After all these years, you'd kind of think they would have come up with something cool for Bray Wyatt to do with his powers in hocus pocus spooky nonsense. We had that creepy kid in the Cena Cage match, whatever that was supposed to be at the Rollins Ambrose Hell in a Cell, that embarrassingly dumb compound fight with the New Day that might have even made the Broken Hardy spit look good. And then, oh boy, that WrestleMania Worm slideshow. Ouch. Worst WWE Championship match in the history of WrestleMania. And I don't care what anybody says, especially MF. But anyways, remember when Wyatt was claiming no one was going to be able to follow his match with Orton at Mania? Shame on us for thinking he meant, because the match was going to be so good, not so unbelievably stupid. I'm crossing my fingers that there is finally some kind of payoff for the weird promise by the Wyatt character. Last thing you want to do in WWE nowadays is to get your hopes up. So whatever the hell this match is, it will likely be as corny as the WrestleMania match, which featured the ring becoming a projection of worms and all these, creepy, crawly critters. With all the hype Wyatt has given this match, anything short of a burning casket match held inside Disney World's Haunted House ride will disappoint. The fact that this has become a non-title match and that it is on a Raw pay-per-view should mean Wyatt picks up the win. And Jinder Mahal stole the WWE Championship belt of Randy Orton, which eliminates the title belt. Not like Bray Wyatt cares about a rematch clause or anything. Whatever this House of Horrors thing is, I'm intrigued, but I'm not, overly, hopeful about it. I predicted this storyline would slowly lose buzz once Luke Harper and AJ Styles butted in, and yeah, nailed it. The feud never regained momentum again, and now has come to a quiet finale. Either Orton wins in Wyatt's own invention, or Wyatt wins to get some little credibility back for his Raw feud with Finn, for his upcoming Raw feud with Finn Balor. Because remember, Bray Wyatt's now on Raw because of the Superstar shakeup, and it looks like the plan is for him to have a feud with Balor, which could be hella fun if it's booked correctly. But with Jinder Mahal possibly interfering and the title, and it looks like it is non-title, I've got Bray Wyatt winning this thing. So, and I think that it could definitely give Wyatt some much needed momentum going into the supposed feud with Finn Balor. So that's all I can say on that. So I'm gonna go with Bray Wyatt to get the win back from WrestleMania. I don't think the title's gonna be on the line because Mahal stole the belt anyway. So, like I said, House of Horrors, I'm intrigued, but at the same time, I'm not overly excited. So, Michael Bullock, House of Horrors, Bray Wyatt, Randy Orton. How do you see this thing going down? I mean, what do you think this match is going to be? Because I have no clue.
Yeah, I am intrigued, but like you just said, I'm not overly excited about it. Obviously, the title's not on the line, especially since Jinder Mahal stole the title, which I'll be quite honest, is stupid. But in all honesty, I mean, yeah, I gotta go with Bray Wyatt to win this match. I mean, he's on Raw, and you need to give him that win back after winning at WrestleMania. And I think this is setting up for a potential feud between him and Finn Balor. And boy, I mean, imagine the fun we would have with that feud. The Demon King versus the Eater of Worlds. So there's really nothing more to say. I got Bray Wyatt.
All right.
Thing to get on how this.
Yeah. Bullock, I wouldn't be surprised if you give it a low score, considering that very bad go home show we witnessed the other night, and considering that the Raw brand, I don't remember seeing one Raw pay per view that really blew us out of the water. And do you really think this one's going to start anything? I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm really not overly excited about this Raw exclusive pay per view Payback. I mean, yeah, you got some good matches here, but after all the home show that really sucked, I didn't have highs for this one. So, to be honest, this is going to be a 4 out of 10. That's how I see it going down. Because, like you said, I can't remember even one Raw exclusive pay per view being. So, until they can, I mean, and might be.
All right. as far as what I think about this event, I'm leaning towards between 6 and 7 out of 10 for me. Um, Even though the card looks promising, I will say that we got a promising card here. There are some matches that have potential to be. I mean, all these matches have potential to be good. The only match that I don't have any confidence in whatsoever is the House of Horrors match. I would love to be proven wrong with that. Neville and Aries for the Cruiserweight Championship. If it's anything like the Mania bout, it's going to be something really good. Rollins and Joe, I got high hopes for that. Tag team titles, I think, can be really good. I mean, we've seen the matches they've had, the singles matches, and if those are any indication, that could be something really good. The women's match, I'm definitely looking forward to that. Like I said, I'm looking forward to the card. I just don't know how it's going to get executed, though. So, um, like I said, the only match that I'm not overly excited about is Orton and Wyatt, and we're not going to count the pre-show bout. So I'm going to give it between 6 and 7 out of 10, but I'm hoping, as a Monday Night Raw guy, I am hoping that this event ends up delivering, and that's all I can say on that. So that'll put the bow on this special edition of Ridiculously Raw, our Payback 2017 preview. We hope you all enjoyed it, and we hope we helped you out with your predictions there. So that'll do it for this. So we'll next see you tomorrow night following the Payback pay-per-view, right back here on the Tone 25. Bullock and I, maybe Didi Woodson, maybe Michael Fletcher. We don't know. We will have our complete recap of Payback, and we'll run down everything. So that's it. So until our recap tomorrow night, it's the ridiculously over gentleman Anthony Florio here for the phenom Michael Bullock, and in spirit, our birthday boy who's celebrating his birthday today, the one and only good old MF Michael Fletcher, the hardcore pipe bomb himself, Derek Ferreira, and of course, the Twisted Angel and First Lady of the Wrestling Forum, Didi Woodson. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, throw it up Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed Sunday. And until our Payback recap later this evening, you've been watching this special edition of Ridiculously Raw, our Payback 2017 preview right here on the Tone 25 on YouTube.com. And remember, no matter what anyone tells you, wrestling is indeed actually real. Good night, everybody.